The entire situation began quietly, almost too quietly, the kind of moment most people scroll past without a second thought. But sometimes the smallest movements create the biggest shockwaves, and that's exactly what happened when Project B's official account, a league that has been operating in near darkness, revealing almost nothing publicly, suddenly began following a handful of WNBA players. Not a press release, not a teaser, not a leaked headline, just a few follows. Yet for a league that barely follows anyone at all, every single edition felt like a message, a signal, a clue left carefully in plain sight. That it all started when a sharp-eyed fan named Michael, someone well known online for catching subtle details before anyone else notices, spotted something unusual. Project B had begun following Kelsey Mitchell, then Jonquel Jones, then Kamilla Cardoso. 3 players, all elite, all influential, all with massive followings. And when people clicked over to Project B's account, the shock set in. They were only following 11 accounts in total. 11, which meant these follows weren't random. They were deliberate. And basketball fans immediately understood the weight of that. Because in sports, social media behavior often reveals the truth long before any official announcement. A new follow is rarely just a follow. It's a sign of interest, a sign of communication, sometimes even a sign of a deal quietly sealed behind closed doors. And with the WNBA already facing pressure from new leagues, contract frustrations, and player dissatisfaction, fans knew this could be the start of something major. The first name on the radar was Kelsey Mitchell. For years, she has been one of the most electric scorers in the WNBA, a player capable of shifting momentum entirely on her own. She has carried Indiana through difficult seasons with nothing but pure skill and relentless consistency. If Project B had truly reached out to her, it meant they weren't playing small. They were targeting star power from the very beginning, trying to anchor their league with established American talent that fans show up to see. Then came Jonquel Jones, and that changed everything. Because Jonquel isn't just another top player. She is a former MVP, a leader, a champion, a respected force throughout the entire basketball world. When her name appeared among the followed players, the conversation erupted. This wasn't just a theoretical possibility anymore. It felt like a statement. Project B wasn't just going after promising talent. They were going after the best. And then there was Kamilla Cardoso, young, energizing, globally adored. Her presence sent speculation into overdrive. She is new to the league, but already one of the most talked about players, bringing size, personality, and a massive Brazilian fanbase. Her momentum alone could bring millions of new eyes to any league she joins. For Project B, a league branding itself as international, following someone with her global pull made perfect sense. Once fans stepped back and looked at the pattern, things became clearer. Kelsey brought American star power. Jonquel brought international respect and veteran experience. Kamilla brought youth, energy, charisma, and a global audience. All 3 at different stages of their careers. All 3 serving a different marketing purpose. It looked less like coincidence and more like strategy, the early foundation of a league preparing to launch globally with names big enough to shake the WNBA to its core. But then came the most controversial layer. Project B is backed by a Saudi-owned entertainment group, and that instantly split the fanbase. Some were excited by the financial possibilities, whispering about salaries that could surpass anything the WNBA has ever offered. Others were alarmed, raising questions about reputation, ethics, and the growing pattern of Saudi-backed ventures taking over sports worldwide. Words like sportswashing started circulating. The debate ignited almost immediately. Players, meanwhile, remained silent. They said nothing publicly, but fans knew the truth. The money being rumored is life-changing. Many WNBA players still have to go overseas each off-season just to survive financially. Project B is offering contracts that could triple or quadruple their usual income in a single year. And whether people like to admit it or not, money changes conversations. As these names continued to circulate, attention shifted toward Unrivaled, the player-led league created with big promises but limited financial backing. Fans began to wonder if Unrivaled ever stood a chance. While its vision of creative freedom and player empowerment was inspiring, it simply couldn't compete with a league throwing down massive checks backed by international investors. And if Project B had already begun quietly pulling star players into their orbit, Unrivaled's future grew dimmer by the minute. But the biggest question, the one everybody eventually asked, was whether this could impact the WNBA itself. Because losing a few players isn't just losing a few names. It alters competitive balance. It affects team identity, attendance, marketing power, and television deals. The league is finally growing, gaining more visibility, breaking records with viewership, but it is still financially vulnerable. And a league like Project B, with billions behind it and a mission to go global immediately, could take advantage of those vulnerabilities. Even Caitlin Clark, despite not being followed by Project B, became part of the discussion. Her influence over women's basketball is unmatched. She fills arenas, she breaks records. she moves the entire needle. If Project B has the ambition and financial capability that people believe, her name is already on their long-term wish list, even if the conversation is purely hypothetical for now. Just the thought of it sent fans into a frenzy. But all of this, the worry, the speculation, the rumors, started from something as small as a few follows. No press conference. No leaks. Just a silent wave of digital breadcrumbs that hinted at a much bigger plan unfolding behind the scenes. Now fans are watching Project B's activity with intense curiosity, knowing that each movement could represent another step toward a massive shift in women's basketball. Everything now hinges on what comes next. Will Project B make an announcement? Will the WNBA respond? Will players confirm anything publicly? Or will the suspense continue building, follow by follow, until the truth can no longer be hidden? One thing is certain, something is happening behind the scenes. Something big, and the next phase could change women's basketball forever. If you enjoyed diving into this unfolding drama, what do you think will happen next? Will players make the jump? Will Project B become the next major force in the sport? And how should the WNBA respond? Share your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if this breakdown kept you hooked. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dive stories just like this. Your support helps the channel grow and brings you more of the content you love.